So I read an article recently.
Okay.
It's about a landlord who
Okay.
is suing
Yes.
the province of Ontario for loss of income and distress because it took so long to help her fight a case against her tenants that were not paying rent and will not vacate.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I think that this was inevitable. During the pandemic, the province of Ontario declared that no one's going to be evicted if you can't pay rent. So there was a lot of tenants taking advantage of that situation. And without any recourse, the government allowed them to do this. On the flip side to that, there are a lot of landlords there that aren't huge corporations. A lot of smaller investors that only own their home and one rental property.
Right.
During the pandemic, I think there was a lot of stories that I've heard about landlords not being able to afford their rental anymore.
Oh my God.
I've heard stories of people who couldn't kick out their tenants and needed to sell their property and live in their car just to make payments on their rental because the government allowed no way of kicking out these tenants during that time. Now, I think this is a really interesting class action suit against Ontario, and I think landlords have a good case here. It is a very stressful situation when your tenant can't pay. It affects their
Credit.
if they can't pay the mortgage, their whole family situation,
Right,
their
and your future
situation. And I think this needs to be put out there a little bit more. Right now, the media is always focusing on the tenants.
Right.
And
Protecting
their
the
rights
tenants.
and protecting their rights. In fact, I think the Landlord Tenant Act really just protects the tenants more so than any landlords. And
It's basically just the Tenant Act. You know, if everyone's following the act, it's basically a tenant act.
yeah, it's removing any power away from the landlords. And it's interesting because of the low supply and the lack of housing here in Toronto, they put these rules in place so that landlords don't take advantage of the tenants.
Right,
But
which is fair.
now it's totally one-sided, and now tenants are taking advantage of the landlords. So I think there needs to be some more balance. Recently, you know, I think it happens to everyone. It even happened to me as well. And that caused a lot of financial as well as mental stress during the
Right.
time when our tenants weren't paying. And yeah, I'm really happy to hear that there's a
Someone's
court
stepping up
action,
and-
someone's stepping up. And I think this is a way to make sure that Ontario, the province, hear our voice as well.
And are protecting both the landlord and the tenant, not just the tenants.
Exactly. So I know this is a heated conversation.
I think we can go on for a long time.
I can go on for a long time, and I don't want to keep this one-sided at all, but I would love to hear what everyone has to say about this topic,
Yeah.
as well as this class action suit against the Ontario government. All right, so love to hear your comments and your questions below. And if you have any questions about rentals, let us know. We would love to help.